This is Smiles TV. You're watching Smiles TV. I'm Stephanie Anthony Miles, and thank you for tuning in. We have an excellent, heartwarming broadcast for you today. I'm talking with a friend, Charlotte Otley, who's a 5-time Emmy Award winner and a great entrepreneur. She's done some magnificent things. You don't want to miss this broadcast. Remember, Jesus Christ was born of a virgin. He was crucified and buried, and he rose on the third day. Confess with your mouth, Jesus is Lord. Believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, and thou shalt be saved. Stay tuned for more smiles. When you visit Big Mama's in East St. Louis, Illinois, located at 5900 St. Clair Avenue, you will need a fork and a bib. Big Mama's is known for their barbecue, cakes, excellent service, and giving back to the community. Call in, eat in, drive through, carry out, order for your office. You can call Big Mama's at 618-398-8950 or visit 5900 St. Clair Avenue in East St. Louis, Illinois.
Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds.
Charlotte Otley has been called the Dream Merchant.
You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser.
Her storied life says it all. During a career that spans over 30 years, her ability to think big opened doors for her to become a university instructor of physical medicine, broadcast producer, and on-air talent in St. Louis and New York, an author and entrepreneur.
The keys to everything is to, if you're going to do something, do it with pride. If you're going to do it, be enthusiastic about it, because if you aren't, no one else is going to be. To be sincere, because even a dog and a baby know when you aren't. And to be inclusive and show you care.
It's fascinating the number of dignitaries and celebrities Charlotte has worked with.
Meeting Miss Dunham, Catherine Dunham, as a college senior and remaining friends with her until her death.
Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee, Anna Maria Horsford, Ray Goodman and Brown, Malik Yoba, and even Presidents Clinton and Nelson Mandela.
That's when I was representing the American Urban Radio Network. And so when Mandela became president, they called American Urban Radio Network and said, Mandela's going to be here, we're going to make a major announcement. We would like black media, up front. So they called me, put me on a plane. I came and I organized the entire press conference and made sure on the mics were our IDs.
Hundreds of pictures reveal her astounding journey that began as a child growing up in East St. Louis. Her family, pillars of the community, was her foundation and motivation. Charlotte graduated with her master's degree in communications from Southern Illinois University at Carbondale and earned a certificate in business management from Northwestern University's Kellogg Center. Her foray into the world of television came after talking to media representatives about a sleep exhibit in downtown St. Louis.
Well, at that time, I'm physical medicine. I understand how the brain is working, so I could explain that exhibit to the media. So I started doing interviews, and one of the people from the media just said, you should be in media.
Charlotte took that advice and was offered a job at KMOV Channel 4. She remained with the station 11 years, and in that time, to her surprise, she won her first local Emmy Award over talk show host Sally Jessy Raphael.
Because she was a national show, I was a local show, and that was a win for St. Louis.
She also recalls when CBS gave a whopping $1.2 million to the St. Louis market.
I divided it between 13 organizations that renovated the dance school for Catherine Dunham. It created the boys' home for Annie Malone. It bought the bleachers for Matthew Dickey's Boys Club, and the list goes on.
In 1990, Charlotte left St. Louis for the Big Apple to work for WNBC. There, she won 3 more Emmy Awards. Other awards would follow, including 2 PRSA Golden Apple Awards, the President's Award from the NAACP in East St. Louis, and one from Crane, New York's 100 Most Powerful Minority Business Leaders. In addition, she has been featured in Essence and Time magazines and selected as the first African American Alumni of the Year at SIU Carbondale. In 2005, Charlotte returned to St. Louis, where she works with the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis and its director, Michael McMillan, on major projects throughout the year. She authored several handbooks on personal and professional success. Her recent book is entitled Surviving Success, Changes, Challenges, and Choices. But despite all of her career accomplishments, she says her true legacy is the Women's Center named in her honor. The Charlotte Merritt's Otley Transitional Women's Center helps women transition into fulfilling lives that are substance-free.
So someone to think enough of me and how I've lived my life that they would choose me, my image, to stand for women who are challenged, women who have gone through what they've had and still find me worthy.
What's next for you?
You know, I'm so excited. I think it's going to be something special. I'm not sure. Because for some reason, I never get what I think I'm going after. It doesn't matter whether it's a man, whether it's a job. I never get what I go after. But what I get is always much better. It's like, whoa.
Wasn't that an excellent profile of Charlotte Otley? 5-time Emmy Award winner, my friend Charlotte. Thank you for allowing me to come to your home.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you. We're at the home of Charlotte Otley, and I'm just ecstatic to sit here with you. At the end of the profile, you made a statement, something to the fact that I don't know what's in store for me within the next 4 years. And I also found out that you were a board member of a National Donor Foundation.
I had been.
You had been?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Charlotte, what's in store?
I have kidney failure, and I've been given the option of dialysis or being as vigorous as I could to get an organ donor.
Okay.
And if you have known anything about me, I'm taking the risk, the challenges, and the prayer to get an organ donor.
So Charlotte needs a kidney.
Yes.
And we want to focus on that. We're going to start right off at the top of the broadcast with the information that is needed. Charlotte Otley, who has done so much, not just in the St. Louis metropolitan area, but across the country, across the world. And because, like I said, we'll start off with that information right now. Charlotte Otley is in need of a kidney, and it's so ironic because she's done so much in that field for other people. But in order to be interested in donating, you can call 1-800-633-9906. 1-800-633-9906. And I know it may seem a little odd just to come right in with it, but we want to make sure that this information gets out as much as possible. Charlotte.
But you have to say that you're calling to be a donor for Charlotte Otley.
Thank you. Right. You have to say that you're calling to be a donor for Charlotte.
Great.
Charlotte, it's so ironic that you're in that position and you've done so much. Tell us some of the things that you've done in that area for other people.
Well, you know, I've always, whether it's my media career or my medical career or my entrepreneurial career, made it a foundation to whatever I give, whatever I receive, and whatever I do, that I'm giving it back. And whether it's adopting an organization and giving them services that they could not otherwise afford so that they can reap the benefit of it, being there for a friend in need, but it's a thing that I grew up with. I remember once my uncle was a precinct committeeman, and a man came to him and said, "Charlie, my daughter needs some shoes. to go to school. And so my uncle says, well, what size is she? He says, like that little girl over there. And I was having such a good time in my black patent leather shoes. And he says, come here, honey, take those shoes off. And gave my brand new shoes.
Goodness.
But that was my family teaching me, don't get attached to things like this, because there are other people who need so much more.
Yes.
And I think it's ingrained in me to be for others, to sense and not humiliate people by making them ask. But if I sense that there's a need, I try to help.
Let's talk about when you first found out that you had kidney failure.
Now, understand, I'm independent. I take care of myself. I take a lot of pride in my privacy, a lot of pride in being discreet. And I'm sitting across from a doctor one day. Now, I knew that I had diabetes, but in my understanding of diabetes, I didn't want to get out of 7.4 or 7.1. So I, waffled between those two areas. And I knew that I worked in a very high-stress area.
Okay.
But that was part of my success, the drive and the push and the pull. And so I knew those things. So I knew I was at risk of greater diabetes.
Okay.
I never dreamed that the end result was kidney failure. Now, call it ignorant. I can't go back with woulda, shoulda, couldas. But I found out with the doctor, he didn't even look at me. He just says, well, you need to start deciding whether you're going to do dialysis or kidney transplant.
Wow.
That was in February. I was numb and walked out and just, had time by myself because it was such a shock that I was at that point. Then I went to a class in May, and I was shocked again as I looked at the people in the class with me, and I looked at the clinics, and that it was like, how did I get here? And I had to make a choice. I had to decide whether I was going to fight this, not question God's fate for me, but that I had enough faith in Him that He had given me the talent to help thousands of other people in marketing and PR and media. Why would He not expect me to do it for myself? So as a result of that, I got busy. I said, if it's a chance to get a kidney out there, both of my parents are gone. I have a surrogate sister and a surrogate brother, but they are not my bloodline. I'm the youngest of 5 generations of my family. So I don't have a bloodline. That would seem a natural option. So I'm at the mercy of other people, which is a very vulnerable place to be.
Well, and I'm going to interrupt if I may. And you said you're at the mercy of other people, and I know you're a God-fearing woman.
Oh, Lord.
And we know that God is able. And so we're at the mercy of God to bring someone to you who may be able to donate a kidney. As you're hearing this story, this is a great story about Charlotte's background, but she's in need now, and she's helped so many people. We want you to call that number that you're seeing scroll across the screen. And you must give your name and tell them that you're interested in donating for Charlotte Otley.
Thank you. Yes, it's really important. So getting through this was a very lonely, vulnerable, hurtful, fearful experience. And it challenged me because, like you, I was raised in the church and active, and I know that we serve an almighty and all-able God. And I know that He didn't bring me this far to leave me now. But I had to have another conversation with God.
Okay.
And say, okay now, Okay, we've done all this. What you want me to do? And he sent me a little angel that I had never met, just jumped in my life when she found out what I was going through, and she said, you've got to tell people. And sometimes I could hear my mother saying, when I'm feeling down, whose child are you? That's the cue of get yourself together.
Right.
You can handle this. And so I had a little talk with God and said, okay now, here I am. Who do I turn to? What do I do? And it was as though he says, you have everything you need.
Wow.
I've spent a lot of time studying and asking questions, but what I want to warn the viewers, sometimes doctors aren't receptive to your research. It's just automatically, you don't know what you want. So don't let that stop you. Still ask the questions. Depend and trust your doctor that he knows best in his advice. And what I did with mine is I supplemented my treatment with holistic approach. That's a double-edged too now.
Tell you what, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
But we can talk a little bit more about that.
Okay.
We're talking with Charlotte Otley, a great friend, and someone who's in need right now. We want you to support her. If you're not interested in donating a kidney, you may know someone else who may be interested. The number is scrolling across the bottom. Feel free to call that number. Tell them that you're interested in being a donor for Charlotte Otley. Stay tuned for more Smiles. When you visit Big Mama's in East St. Louis, Illinois, located at 5900 St. Clair Avenue, you will need a fork and a bib. Big Mama's is known for their barbecue, cakes, excellent service, and giving back to the community. Call in, eat in, drive through, carry out, order for your office. You can call Big Mama's at 618-398-8950 or visit 5900 St. Clair Avenue in East St. Louis, Illinois. We're talking with Charlotte Otley. I have to keep saying my friend because I'm just so honored to be able to say that. And she is in need of a kidney, and we need your help. We need your support. Call your friends, your neighbors, everybody to find out who may be a match. Have them call the phone number that is scrolling across the bottom and tell them you want to be screened to be a kidney donor for Charlotte Otley. Charlotte, I'm holding something in my hand, and you exemplified strength. I cannot imagine being in the position that you're in right now, but you have a motto. Tell us about what I'm holding in my hand.
It's an African symbol that I found, and I wrote a book, which I find all of this very ironic because much of my profession has been helping people survive success, not become successful. But the failure is when you get there and it's not all what it promised it would be or you thought it would be.
Right.
So I created and looked for a symbol that people could instantaneously go through and prompt themselves on how they should feel.
Right.
So that symbol has, at the bottom, it is that you can be rooted in faith, anchored. So you have to have an anchor and know who you are. You're rooted in faith, you're flexible in life. And I added to mine, it's like a diamond. You get through the rough times, and the other side is great. And it's all built on love.
Simply beautiful, just like
So those are the 4 triggers
Okay.
that when life gets tough or you don't know where you're going, just remember to hold on to your faith, be flexible and go with the flow, get through the tough times because you know where it's going to end, and love somebody, starting with yourself.
I'm so glad to see that as you're going through, you're still smiling.
Oh, Lord.
But I know there must be some tough times. And I know some days are harder than others. Do you feel comfortable sharing what
course.
those days are like and how you get through them?
Well, faith, obviously.
Okay.
And almost a commitment that for everything that has been invested in my life, that I owe it to get through this the very best I can. And I don't get a chance to weep much because I am surrounded by people who express their love on a daily basis. I mean, I have students, I taught at Florida A&M years ago, and I have students from Florida A&M calling. How did you find me?
Wow.
I would probably pass them if I saw them because I would know them. People Andrea, who talked to you about this. I've known her since she was a little bitty thing at church. So what this has done for someone who's lived a very private life is let me know when I opened up, which I was afraid to do because of judgment, and I'm an entrepreneur, so people feeling like, oh, well, she's sick, and so we can't give her a contract. My contract is my brain, and wherever I go, it's gonna work. And this is my kitten,
Right.
so I can still do what I can do. But all of those fears and that, I was encouraged to open up. And when I did, I've been flooded with love and support. I mean, and I tell people, well, save it till I have my surgery because you're giving me so much now in love and attention. And I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate that there's not a day that goes by that I don't say, Lord, touch the heart and soul of somebody that they are willing to take the first step, because this is a journey. It's a first step of can I be screened? Then go through the questionnaire of being screening. Then go through all the tests to make sure we're compatible. Then there's surgery. Then there's recovery. So this is not a simple ask, but I know that it's an ask that can be achieved and has already happened for many people and need to happen for even more people. I want to be that catalyst, and I want to be that example.
Prior to going to our break, and I didn't come back to this point, you mentioned holistic medicine.
Yes.
And I have a question. Were you on insulin prior to the diabetes?
This is another reason. Usually you have to be at a 12, a 9, or a 12 to be on insulin.
Okay.
I never made it past 7.3.
Okay.
And even though I knew I needed to lose weight, I wasn't thinking that I was that obese, that I just talked to myself and said, I'll take care of myself, but I never knew the damage. But I think what was overlooked is I had an acute gallbladder surgery years ago and wasn't counseled on how that could affect your kidney, because now the kidney had to make up for the loss of that. And as a result, I think this accelerated, and we kept treating other things. No one ever mentioned kidney. It was about my leg. I thought I had arthritis, nausea. I thought I had some gastro problem. Got to follow your doctor. You got to be obedient and deliberate about what you're going to do. I've had people say, you don't look sick. Well, I know that they're not meaning to hurt my feelings, but what's sick?
What does it look like to be?
Do you know what it took for me to get up this morning? Do you know what it took for me to just be here today?
Let's elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, it's a feeling sometimes that when people have an image of what sick is or what you need to look like or feel like, illness makes everybody uncomfortable. Whether they love you or don't love you, it's an uncomfortable feeling. So when I step out, I try to be the best I can be and try to judge and learn my own body so that, I can stay. So that's one key point of making you feel like maybe my story isn't downtrodden enough. Maybe it doesn't seem like I've suffered enough. Well, I want to touch somebody's heart that I've done everything and I'm doing everything not to tell that story. I want to continue to do the things that apparently God has chosen me to do, because sometimes I'm saying, how did I get in this? But you go the course. But I've been so blessed and had a good life.
That is excellent.
That's the
I
difference.
must ask this question. Why did you opt out of getting dialysis?
For a while. Okay, I want to try to hold on. And I made a pledge with my doctors that if I drop one more point, that I will do dialysis. And the dialysis I chose is an in-home method, and it's different. I would have to do the one that I've chosen. I have to do it 4 times a day for 15 minutes.
Okay.
That fit me, that helped me continue the quality of life that I want, that I could live with for the years that I have left. I'm 71 years old.
Are you 71?
Yes, I am. I'm
My
proud
goodness.
of it. I've kissed death in the face 5 times. But those situations were acute. They were urgent surgeries or urgent whatever. Baby, going through this journey, awake, and making a difference. I don't want to lose a moment of life. And I want someone to find me worthy, to be a part of me physically, and to be a part of my life. And anybody that you meet whose paths I've crossed, they will tell you that I am one with this.
Yes.
It's not phony, it's not I am one with this. And even people who don't like me. At the end of the day, they find me if they really need something done. So, but you don't have to like people. You've got to just love.
That's right. And love is an action word.
Just love. Love somebody.
Okay.
Because if it's not me, there are thousands of other people. But give me a chance.
That's right,
You know,
Charlotte.
give me a chance.
We love you, Charlotte, dearly. And she's right. If you knew Charlotte, or if you don't know her, just her presence, you just emanate love from you.
Yeah.
Surviving
Thank
success. She survived success, and now she's surviving life. We need your help. Support Charlotte. Be a kidney donor. The number has been scrolling across the screen all evening. I hope you even taped this broadcast so you can share it with others. She's a friend of mine, and we would like for you to support and help. Call the number. Tell them that you want to be screened to be a kidney donor for Charlotte Otley.
Oh, I gotta hug
God
you.
bless you. God keep you.
Oh, sweetheart. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we just love you dearly. Thank you for watching Smiles TV. Tune in as often as you can. And remember, only what you do for Christ will last. Jesus is the Lord. The Lord be magnified. Keep smiling.